Let's go.
That's my baby.
I'm dying.
That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored. They did it.
Left.
What the hell was that?
Oh yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Kicking it stateside back again, sponsored by our good doc, Paul Vidal, at SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. Number one in South Jersey. Number one in our hearts as well. Burlington, Cherry Hill. Check him out, SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. The best. He's our doc. Make him yours. So as we roll along into our lovely, lovely Thursday, how about this roller coaster of emotion that this U.S. men's national team has taken us on this almost week stretch from going to El Salvador, putting up a piss-poor performance, drawing, to going up 1-0 against Canada, only to have that erased within about 6 minutes, to drawing home to Canada, to last night, which takes us at El Salvador. I'm sorry, at Honduras, down 1-0 in the first half, and you're thinking the worst, right? You're like, Greg's not even going to make it out of the stadium if we lose this game. What's the nearest balcony to just leap right off of? Because that's kind of how it felt. Like the lowest of low feeling, knowing that you may lose this game to Honduras team that I don't even care. At least show a little bit of effort. Let's not go down swinging. Let's not go down like this. And then the second half starts. And wholesale changes are made. John Brooks, love the guy. He's played terrible. He comes out. You insert, Aronson, who's been given a spark on offense in this USMNT national team. And all of a sudden, you're looking at the end of the game, the full 90 minutes are up, and it's 4-1 after 4 unanswered goal by the U.S. A quick goal right after halftime by Anthony Robinson. Obviously.
Another one that came off the bench.
Another one. And obviously our wonderful, apparently going to be, a good look at starting striker position now as Ricardo Pepi. Is he going to be the savior of this team and take that striker position by the scruff of the neck? Obviously, he had 2 assists and a goal and probably should have added another one. And just a fantastic performance, easily man of the match. And now we're sitting here, instead of looking at ourselves possibly with 2 points or 3 points with a draw out of that game, you're sitting now with 5 points at a +3 goal differential, which is good enough for second in the hexagonal after the first cycle. And we're sitting here, I think the result and on paper will cover up any, wounds or any just little blips that we don't like about Greg Burkhalter, the coach. And to say that we feel okay, but we don't feel – it doesn't fix the fact that we don't have the confidence still in this manager to pick the right lineup in the tactic side of things. And it's a little nerve-wracking, but again, to tell you that we're in second still, even though we should have easily came away with 7 to 9 points from this window, you'll take the 5 right now and still in second, which is the crazy part. How bad
we're in third.
We're in third. Sorry,
we're in third because we fucking tied Canada, so we're in third.
I'm sorry, third.
Because Canada put up 3 against El Salvador.
Which we should have done from the start.
So we should have done. We should be in first because we should at least have 7 points. You're being too nice.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to look at it in the positive form because again, right?
Yeah, in the now, yeah, it's positive because thank God we won that game. Thank God we won that game. Could you imagine what we would have done today if we would have lost? Not even just tied that game, but lost that game.
It would have been an epic meltdown. I think from social media to just us on this show today would have been absolutely livid.
Yeah, I think anybody around the game that supports the United States should have been livid. And I still think that, we need to be careful and we can't just let this take Mr. Berhalter off the hook. Because, what was that lineup? What was that starting lineup to start a game that was a must-win on the road in a tough environment of Honduras? After you've already underperformed in 2 games, you're going to come out with that? Josh Sargent was just – I saw Josh Sargent fall on the ground and have this complaint look on his face more times than I saw him actually get on the ball and try to do anything. When you're playing a team like that on the road where the referee is just going to let things go and it's going to be a physical game and you need to respond back with good physicality, not stupid physicality. But you saw some of the U.S. guys really bounced back yesterday with good physicality. Once some of those changes were made, you could see the difference in that team. But he was outmatched. And Aronson, can we just Brendan Aronson belongs in the starting 11 every single time. Can we please get somebody, a leader that's willing to just put their foot down and say, this is my 15 guys. And bearing outside of any major injury or anything like that, we don't stray from that rotation of those 15 guys. And if we need to bring in, 16, 17, 18, then we do. But the kid is just so good. And he's a player. And look how he's I'm looking at a picture of him right now. Not saying anything bad about him, but he's not it's not The Rock, he's 165 pounds soaking wet, and that kid went up nose to nose with every one of those dudes on that Honduras team last night and fought and fought and fought and really changed that game. He changed that game. Robinson changed that game. Those substitutions changed that game, and I'm sorry, I don't give credit to him because it should have never been put in that position. Those guys should have been on the pitch to start the game. And they played with heart, despite his formations. We talked about it in the group chat. You saw it again early in the game on that first little break talking to Tyler Adams, and Tyler Adams gave him that same kind of look and eye roll that John Brooks gave him the previous game. Right. They can just tell they're not happy with whatever he's setting them up. And you could see it. You could see it earlier in the game how stuck on their heels they were, trying to play his little game. And it was a bunch of guys out of position. I think I tweeted it. It looked like 11 guys all just playing randomly for the first time together in a youth soccer program. It was that disorganized. It was that bad. And then when you finally put some guys in the right position and you finally brought some heart into the game, you saw the difference.
Yeah, and it's we don't excuse, and he's not off the hook. His getting the lineup wrong in every other aspect was bailed out by the talent of these players themselves, and nothing. He wasn't even excited when we scored those goals, Greg.
No, he was wiping sweat off his forehead because he knew he still had a job today.
because his ass was puckered up the whole time. And still, when we're scoring all these goals, it's 4-1. He's still like, oh, this is not my doing at all. I was, you had to do something. Right? George Bello looked like he was just lost, and he never played a game. In that type of like atmosphere in that moment, he was just lost, right?
Absolutely.
He had to come off. John Brooks had to come off. It just
because again, we go back to Gold Cup, and Gold Cup's awesome, and George Bello played great, but he didn't play. We weren't playing these teams in their home field. It was all these games were on our home turf, even if they were an away game. So it's such a different beast when you go into these situations. I am a little disappointed in Brooks. Their second lapse of judgment, second kind of maybe looked a little bit lazy. But again, the only excuse I'll give him is that lineup to start the game. Put a lot of people out of position, and he was probably overcompensating, helping out Sands, helping out McKenzie, and not for McKenzie, but just because McKenzie was put in a bad position to start the game where he really shouldn't be when we had the personnel where we didn't need to do that. Because you saw it once the subs started to come in that we had those guys available. So I don't know. It's questionable again. You got to be happy, right? We got to be happy.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you have to be, right?
We have to be happy. We're going to go, and that's why we have the poll question, and we do have a very silver lining that came out of last night's game, and that is the man that a lot of people have been clamoring for. If you get onto the Facebook groups of the U.S. Men's National Team and Twitter, the U.S. Men's National Team, making his debut with the team last night. So he's still not cap tied, but it sounds like everything this kid's saying, he's already emotionally and mentally cap tied to the U.S. and wants to be one of the leaders of this team already at 18 years old, 19 years old, and he's
it was the
no fear.
The youngest team that the U.S. Men's National Team has ever rolled out in a World Cup qualifying game, all time youngest,
and that was with John Brooks in there.
Yeah, and that's to go to John Brooks. That's a little concerning because you had expected him, like we thought he was just a shoo-in to anchor this team, to be the captain. He was in our last World Cup in 2014. He scored the header heard around the world against Ghana in the World Cup, that first game that we had in group stage in the last World Cup. And you figured he knew what was, he's been through the cycle. This is his third go-round in the cycle. You figured he'd be the one that'd be up for it, but he just does not. He's been caught ball watching twice, and twice has led to goals. So
the only thing that I'll say is he's good enough to still be in that. When I say that group of 15, 16 guys or whatever, I think he's still good enough to be in that. I think that's where selection and coaching is going to come in, because there's going to be teams that play slow enough that John Brooks will be perfectly suited to start that game. Right. But there's going to be teams like Honduras, and you saw last night, man, those guys ran up and down that pitch hard for 90 minutes. I mean, they never let up. They fought and fought and fought in that game, and they had a lot of speed and a lot of quickness. That's going to be tough for a guy like him. So we need that nice rotation. We need to find the guys that were playing against the burn and turn and the breakout teams and the counterattack teams. But that's why we need good coaching and we need good leadership. And it doesn't seem like he has his finger on that pulse, because with the players he had available, he made that decision to make that start when you had other guys that could have, and you could have used guys elsewhere. And when you finally got forced to, with your back up against the wall in the second half, with everybody, probably all your assistant coaches in your ear, and everybody like at halftime, and you're probably hearing all your players are pissed off in the locker room and like, why the hell am I playing here? And why is this dude here? And why can't we? And, boom, at least somebody stepped up and did something.
Yeah, and again, you can't make excuses, because again, it's that just next man up, and you have no choice. Like, these are the guys that are in this camp.
Yeah, but you got to still put them in the right position.
Happen. You know, you see Des down. He's in the line. He's a starting guy. Reyna. Now Pulisic, you know, coming off the pitch hurt again.
Yeah, and speaking of which, he kind of drug his feet on getting our captain off the pitch. I mean, it was clear and obvious he was hurt.
Right.
Long before. I mean, you got to, as the leader again, I don't care if he's the captain, you're the coach. You need to be able to say, hey, dude, you can barely walk. I love the fact that you're still trying to run up and down the field. That's why you're my captain. But I would be a bad coach if I don't get you off the field and make sure you don't hurt yourself further and, like, do it quickly and deal with the repercussions later.
I'm pretty sure that Roman Abramovich paged him real quick on that WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I was texting him off the goddamn field right now, or you're gonna hear it from me. I'm Russian. I know a couple guys there in Honduras that'll take you out back before you get on the bus.
You could see it even under the poor Telemundo broadcast that we had to watch because somehow we didn't get this game broadcasted in our own country. Shame on all big broadcasting in this country. Yeah, not Paramount. Paramount Plus. You got it. I watched it in Telemundo because, like, people always ask me. They're like
Paramount Plus, and then that's partners with, I guess, they're owned by CBS too.
My Spanish isn't that great, but see, I don't need a commentator to watch a game. I watch the game. I don't need to hear what they're talking about. I can see what the hell's happening by watching
It's
the game.
Universal, you know what's going on. So
yeah, and I know enough Spanish that I know if they're happy or not happy with what's happening. So
I don't know. It's pretty soon like we've said before, that you're going to have to stream all these goddamn games. Nothing will be on like free television anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like cable television.
Yeah, I've already conceded the fact that I'm gonna have to get Paramount. I already have Peacock and I already have ESPN
Peacock
Plus
now. You know,
and ESPN now has Bundesliga, La Liga, and Serie A, plus all like this World Cup qualifying in Europe. So it's like I'm handcuffed to having to have it, but Paramount's next because I'll want to watch Bayern in Champions League at some point.
What's up, Tommy?
Tommy, yes, big
win. Yes, more
huge,
like had to win game, back against the wall type game that we had to win.
It shouldn't have had to be a big win,
but yes, it was.
But it was big. This was actually
the silver lining is winning 4-1 is probably the biggest takeaway. Kind of like what Walker said.
He did.
Now it's like instead of you're in third because of the goal differential, you could have been, there's a bunch of teams right there stacked with 5 points.
Yeah.
After the first cycle. So.
Oh, yeah, especially with the tie last night, the Mexico-Panama tie. There was a lot of people that are, I hate to use the word, I guess, but I mean, sometimes just ignorant and they don't pay attention to the big picture and they're all rooting on this Panama team, and I'm like, dude, it's not good for us with only getting two. Like, if we went into the first two games and got 6 points, sure, root on Panama, beat Mexico. But, like, not now. Not when Mexico came out, got 6 points, and Panama's sitting right there kind of in the wheelhouse of the teams that are playing like we are. Yeah, like, we don't want them getting 3 points. That's not good. Like, you got to know what's going on.
I think that's kind of the surprise so far, besides the U.S. kind of being mediocre so far. Jamaica being really bad.
Really bad.
Really bad. Panama actually starting out very good this first window is probably the three shocks, I would say, coming out.
Now, Panama was playing pretty well in Gold Cup. They had a pretty good run in Gold Cup, so I mean, I'm not overly surprised, but you look at their roster and you would still probably rate Costa Rica over them just off of roster alone and the fact that Costa Rica still has one of the best goalkeepers in the world, top 15 at least, in Navas. Jamaica, man, you think we're having issues. there's one guy who recently checked us out, Adrian. I don't know if he'll pop on today, but he texts me every once in a while, and he's from Jamaica. And yeah, man, it's not good down there. That is a football nation, and for them to be coming out of this first three with 1 point and a -4 goal differential and not have played us, it's not good, man. It's not good for them.
No, it's one of those things where it's an identity crisis, which is surprising. We were saying that even if Mikel Antonio gets called in and he's been playing, you thought they were going to challenge, for a spot, but it has not looked very good, and they are sitting in the bottom with, I believe, 8 points, and it's just it's going to be a tough climb for the Reggae boys. And good segue, because starting in our next window in October, window number 2, that's our first game at home against Jamaica on October the 7th.
Yeah, actually some of the aforementioned teams, Jamaica, and then again, this is one of those tight runs where we wait and then we got 3 games, boom, boom, boom. So we get them on the 7th. We get Panama. We got to go to Panama on the 10th, and then we're back home against that Costa Rica team on the 13th. So the big positive from all of that is the times outside of the Panama game starting at 9:45. The other 2 are 7:30 games, thank goodness. And they're actually on ESPN2. So we're going to not have to worry about streaming for those.
Yeah. That's what we need. We need some ESPN games and not relying on, Telemundo and, Paramount Plus, where I got to log into my Paramount Plus on my smart TV and then log in. It's through CBS Sports. It's just, we're jumping through hoops to watch these footy games. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's definitely, like you said, though, it's a good time to be pulling Jamaica, it seems like. I mean, they really won't have time to be together because everybody's going to go back with their clubs now and figure out what their issues are. So they're going to be getting back together just when that window opens, just like everybody else. So hopefully we keep our foot on the gas there now.
Hopefully you see, Musa is going to be, seems like he's getting back to fitness. So I'm assuming he'll be called into that October camp.
That's going to be important.
Spark on offense. So
that's going to be real important when we see
and
that.
Do you switch out offensively? Do you take a look at Matthew Hoppe instead of maybe a Peacock or one of these other striking options?
I mean, at this point, after what he did bring you in the Gold Cup, I mean, I have a thing for Peacock. My first guy out would be Sargent. I'm sorry. Yeah. I keep trying. I was happy when he went to Norwich.
Trust me, I get
it. I'm really trying, and he's not giving me anything to go off of. I have the biggest defense I had for him was that I think he's great if we have a lead late in the game and you need to get your striker off the field and let him rest and just have him help defend for 15, 20 minutes. I mean, he's very replaceable on this roster at this point to me.
Right.
I mean, we're still missing Weah, who got hurt again.
That's true. I mean, there's a lot of injuries that you can look at, say that we weren't again at.
He's got to get deeper in the midfield. We talked about this on the last selection. This selection, he's got to have learned his lesson, and he's got to get deeper on the midfield, and he's got to make sure he's got good wing backs in depth as well. I like Yedlin. I don't know why Reggie Cannon was left off of this last.
I think he'll be called in instead of Bello. I think. I mean, he loves Christian Roldan, though.
He loves Roldan. I mean,
he's not going to be needed when a Musa comes back.
Yeah, when Musa comes back, and God willing that people really kind of let this thing die down, and Weston McKennie works his way back. Maybe, hopefully, gets out of Juventus. Maybe that'll help him as well. Maybe he needs to go somewhere a little bit more stable. Maybe he needs to go back to Germany and go to Bayern. You know, like how that would be a good fit for Weston McKennie because he did well in Germany. Go back to you want to be with a big club, you want to play in Champions League, you want to do all that. Bayern's a club that you're not going to get away with certain things.
I just don't know what he needs. He needs to grow up. That's one thing. That's pretty apparent, you know, that he's. It's one thing if this is your first time, you know, breaking your curfew. It's another time. It's another thing if if it's just a repeat offense, you know, having it happen at Juve, throwing that house party. And again, now all of a sudden he gets, you know, he's going out on the Nash Vegas here, inviting people back to his hotel room. People. I don't believe it's Pulisic's sister. I think that's just some.
I think it's probably. I don't know though. Pulisic.
Somebody was like, "That's not true." Pulisic's sister had a horse show in Pennsylvania that day.
Yeah, and somebody else said that they saw her in Nashville. So who knows?
Yeah,
I don't care. I don't even care. I
get a lot of slack for.
That's why I always say. That's why I always say it's a rumor. You know, I would never actually. He would be
a dog if he did that. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
we got other fish to fry if he's breaking.
And I mean, the biggest issue for some of these guys, like we said too, is they're going to lose spots when other guys come back healthy. Weston McKennie's spot's not 100% firm. You would hope it was, but
yeah, he's one of the better ones.
Let's just go for the park the bus counterattack direct play. Yeah, so we're never gonna we're with the roster that we now have and the style of players that we now have. Once we get a coach that actually can learn how to coach that, there won't be a place for Josh Sargent. I'm sorry, like in my opinion,
he needs to. His spot is not guaranteed. Let's just say that, and I don't want to overvalue and overrate him because I think, and like you said, I tried so hard. We try so hard to like Josh, and we want him to be that number 9. But again.
He's not him.
You're a striker. Your job is to score goals, and he's not doing that. Last night I thought Anthony Robinson needed a big game because he's been not good in a U.S. kit, and I thought he had his best performance of the night.
Yeah, man.
In a U.S. kit.
Yeah, and he did it in half of a game.
And that's why they've been rating him, and that's why he continues to play at Fulham because he showed you what he can do. He was flying around the pitch. Like his first appearances in a U.S. shirt, he looked a little timid and a little scared out there. Last night, he looked very confident.
Yeah, he helped take the game into his hands.
Flying around the field, defending well, getting that goal to start the snowball effect. It was just... Yeah,
how many times do you see a guy like that get that ball on their foot and hesitate? He didn't hesitate. That ball got on his foot after Pepe missed it, and he saw an opportunity, put it on net. We say it time and time again. I tell the 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, no matter what age, when you're playing this game, the more opportunities you send that ball at net, the more opportunities are going to come. And he did, and it was just perfect. And that really lit the fire. And then it kind of started to die down again, and you were like, getting a little nervous. But it got woken back up when Pepe just decided
he said
him and Aronson were going to take that game over. Yeah, I mean,
again, like Eric said, just the Medford Messi just keeps on going, man. He makes us. I know Eric's a Union guy as well. He makes our Union family very proud seeing those Aronson and McKenzie starting out from a young, U9s at the Union Academy all the way up to, starting in Europe and making, a good impact on our national team. It's great to see.
We got to find a way to get him on the show. I mean, come on. We're Philly Jersey all the way. Like, how do we not find a way to get that man on this show?
And don't even sleep on Aronson's brother, Paxton. He might be even better than Brendan.
Yeah, is he even 17 yet?
In goals. I think he is finally, yeah.
Finally 17. Breaking in games with the Union, so.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good genes, man. Jersey strong.
Yeah, Evan, we did say I still don't believe it. I just don't want to believe it.
Yeah, I know. We said enough on it until that TMZ hotel video shows up or something, and I have evidence. I'm not going to speak of it anymore because I don't want to be one of those guys where it's like, oh, they're just looking for a headline or something. So.
Unless
But,
he had her, he had her in a ski mask or something.
I mean,
leaving her in the back door.
You are allowed to wear a mask now and get away with things. So
that's true. We might
it wasn't me.
It was because she had
yeah.
Erroneous everywhere. But yeah, I just want to say hello and what's up to everybody. Dan, our good buddy from the north of the border.
Hey, and you know what?
Sitting on us the whole show, I've noticed.
He has, and we've been, but I will, we always say we give credit where credit is due, and Canada played a tremendous game against an El Salvador team. Again, Canada was home.
We should have done.
They weren't in the hostile environment of El Salvador. We'll see how it goes when they have to go down there, but
yeah,
they did.
You get two home games and you get one win. You get 4 points out of all right. That's an average start for Canada as well. I wouldn't be exactly tooting my horn too much, Danny boy.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing, and a lot of people don't realize, and for the casual fans that join us,
two away games coming up this next window, and we'll see how that shakes out for you.
We're upset that we missed the last World Cup, and as well we should be. I believe, and Dan will correct me, I'm sure if I'm wrong, but I believe Canada's last World Cup was 1986. Does that sound right?
You probably know.
It's somewhere. I believe it's 86. So yeah, 1986. So that's
You're playing with house.
That
money.
tells you, yeah.
Mentality. I get it.
Yeah.
But there's
Speaking of which, you finally get to see the background. I've always had this covered.
Oh yeah.
So you want to know the uniqueness of this flag? It's a Budweiser advertising flag for World Cup 2006 in Germany, but the flag outside of the word Budweiser is completely in Spanish.
All right.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I like that.
That was targeted for some kind of Spanish bar, I'm sure, that they were like during World Cup 2006. They were like, here, hang this up as advertising. I don't know how I got it. I think from Chicky and Pete's, I'm pretty sure.
That's a good come up.
Yeah, I've had it for years. Yeah, man. It's always hidden, but
yeah, then I just don't want to have it come down to that where we're having to play a home and home with like an Asian like New Zealand. I don't want to see Chris Wood in a possible playoff game.
Yeah, let's not have that conversation. I don't even want to I don't even want to bring that into existence. Not yet.
We're one or two in this hexagonal.
We have to be. There's no excuse not to be. Yes.
You have to. I still think that we're the second best team probably right now in the hex. I don't care about the results so far. That's what I'm saying. We better be a top 3 team in 5 months from now. That's all I'm saying. These kids rested up a little bit. Now some of these guys have some experience, know what they're in for. You got 2 home games coming up in this October cycle. You take the points. You take your home games because that's the key to winning. These to get in.
Yeah.
And getting a point on the road if you need be. You still got those tough games at Mexico. We're going to see at Panama coming up here in this next October cycle. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
You got to pull out. And last night was great. You can say it, any way you slice it, it was a big win. But now October is you got 3 winnable games that you should, again, our road so far has not been very difficult. And we've stumbled, but last night sort of helps us out get to makes us feel okay. We're like lukewarm, but we should have been rolling right into it. I don't really care.
Yeah, no, I agree. We're
get the boys healthy, get some of these guys back. I don't think Way is going to be back. I know it's hard and lost in translation. You know, I don't speak French, but the Lille Twitter page, official page, once that came out, said he was going to be out for a decent bit of time. So I doubt he'll be ready anytime in this next 2 months or so. So,
I mean, I'm not dead. Listen, I'm not dead on DK. You know, DK needed a little time away, I think, after I think he was maybe possibly underrated in the Gold Cup. He didn't have a terrible Gold Cup. He didn't do what everybody thought. Everybody thought Daryl DK was going to score 7 goals in the Gold Cup and we were going to beat everybody, 3-1, and we were just going to – that's how it was going to go. And it didn't, unfortunately. But, again, part of that was system issues and lineup issues. So I'm not dead on him still being part of this.
Yeah, you forget about him.
Yeah, with Hoppy, there's plenty
just unproven guys that have not been in this situation before. That's why not to look ahead to 2026, but I think this cycle, this World Cup cycle, is going to pay off immensely because all these guys are going to have a full World Cup qualifying cycle. And full World Cup under our belts to go into that 2026 hosting. Yeah. There you go. But actually, Andrew brought up
I wanted to go back to that. That's the thing. Like that's the importance, and that's why
you don't want that.
This is why we yell. This is why we yell and scream when you don't get 3 points from an El Salvador team. Is if you finish 4th place, that's a possible scenario. That's a 33% scenario that in a 1 game, is it a home and away or is it just a 1 game? It's probably a home and away, but either way, do you want to play Colombia or Chile in deciding the way and if you played that poorly that you finished 4th over this long qualifying process, then most likely you don't have a shot against those guys. So it's like, let's not even consider that an option.
Yeah.
Top 2 should be a no-brainer. I'll take 3rd if God forbid that does happen.
Again, like Eric, banking off what he said, like we shouldn't be worrying about that at this point. It's still early. I still don't think Panama is good enough to make it into the World Cup unless they have some incredible qualifying.
Yeah.
Next window finish ahead of them, like without question.
I'm reasonable with 7 next window. I'm not going to come out and say 9 after what we just seen, but again, 2 home games,
right?
1 road game. They say win your home games. So
you gotta win your home games though. You can't be drawing Jamaica.
I know, and honestly, the 7 probably comes from a draw at home and a win on the road against Panama or something. It's not going to come the way we think it should come.
Never does.
And it doesn't, and it's not against us, and it's anybody who has any sense would look at it and say it should be a certain way, and it
never does come easy. We knew it. The dream scenario was 9 points from the first 3, but we knew. We
knew 9 was a pipe dream. We were willing to accept 7. 5 was worst case scenario. We got worst case scenario because I won't say less than 5 was worst case scenario because less than 5, I wouldn't even do a show about the team. I would just honestly have just worried about the Prem coming up this weekend and not even talked about it if they would have finished that game. That's why I kept trying to tell them we had to get the show criteria in last night. I'm like, I can't write this show right now, especially at halftime, because I had 4 headlines that I had to erase because I thought the sky was falling like everybody else did. So
what are you talking about, Dan? I didn't say anything about Mexico had to tie. I said we're better than Panama.
Yeah.
I said we need to finish ahead of Panama. I'm not convinced Panama is that good of a squad.
And Dan did confirm 1986 in Mexico was the last time Canada's made a World Cup. So again, these people listen up, the casual fans. Be on this team. Be on this USA team. We're going against teams like Canada who are up and coming and good young players.
Any draw for a match that your team's not in is a good result.
Yeah.
That goes without being said.
Yeah. Now at this point,
I was never rooting against, either squad in that. I don't give a shit.
I mean, the biggest thing, I guess, going into the next grouping is now that you see some play out. Like when you're watching the other teams, unless we're playing them, you got to root for the Jamaicas and the El Salvadors to steal points from the Panamas, the Canadas, and the Mexicos. Right.
And that's down the road when
now. And then if they start to get too many points, then you reevaluate it again. You reevaluate who you want to root for and see get points while you're hopefully gaining more. That's how tables like that work over long term.
Right.
Right now I'm the hugest Jamaica fan unless we're playing them. But they go on and win 4 straight. Now it's like we got to root for whoever's playing Jamaica.
Right. It's still early to shake things out. We're 3 games in. There's a lot of time still to go. Some team can make a miraculous run. It happens.
It could be us. It could be us, and we could get exactly what you and I have just been begging for and not been chasing this thing until the last freaking weekend and maybe go on that run and finally get that little bit of cushion and get some comfort.
There's no excuses to finish 4th. I'm sorry.
Look at that German.
I'll say that till I'm blue in the face.
That German team figured it out. They went on a run all of a sudden.
They're back.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll see if that lasts because they've fooled us before. But they went
I
from
see that Timo Werner for Chelsea. That'd be great,
right?
Yeah. But kind of. I think we've spoken enough, nauseum about the men's national team. It's going to be, it could be worse. Let's just put it at that, and we'll look forward to the next October cycle again. That starts October 7th, where we have a home game against Jamaica. I still say we're better than Panama.
Oh yeah, I'm not even going to listen to anything.
I don't know what the superiority complex is.
We're better than
just leaps and bounds ahead of you soccer wise right now.
We're better than every
one day.
In reality, on paper, and again, it's on paper because not all the pieces might be there, but player-wise, all the pieces are there. There's no competition right now. We are the best team on paper in CONCACAF. If you take where these guys are playing in their clubs and professionally, and the level and quality of play that these guys are playing at, you can't even have an argument with me. You're not even close with Mexico at this point. This is a new generation of Mexican players and a generation of Mexican players that are starting to see guys like Ricardo Pepi opting to come here.
Switch it, yeah.
And I like we said, we're not going to talk about it anymore. Really, we're done with them. We'll finish up the show with a little bit the rest of the world here and Prem coming back quickly. We'll touch on that, but don't underestimate the fact that kid did it on the road in his debut. There's something to be said about that. We've been begging for guys with that heart and that determination that want to be out there and want to win. And Aronson has it, and it looks like Pepe has it, and Pulisic has it. We just got to keep them freaking healthy. And we just need those guys. Come on, that's it. Just pick those guys. I want to see that tenacity, that fire.
It's not hard.
Yeah. If we can see it, they should be able to see it. That's their freaking job. Or just hire all of us and let us take over.
I don't think there's a high horse, Danny. I'm just saying. Our coach is holding us back at this point. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It's clear.
I've never once said Canada's not a good team. That's never come out of my mouth.
We've said glowing things about
players
Canada.
Coming up here. So.
Except Canada. If it's Canada week, we're not going to say such good things about Canada. But other than that, we've given them enough props at whatever. So
No,
most of it. So anyway, most of this qualifying's closed out. There is some Cotton Bowl still today before everybody breaks back to their club teams. So if anybody still wants to check some out, I guess the most notable is like Brazil, Peru should be a good game. Colombia, Chile should be a good game. But there's a few of them left, and everything else is going back to domestic play.
Yeah, I mean, you saw, the UEFA side of things kind of wrapping up again this week. Like you said, Germany seems to have found their footing again. They look like they're pretty much World Cup bound. Some other ones, I mean, you're seeing a lot of the same teams winning that are probably going to win their group, the usuals.
Yeah.
Not too many interesting, like, oh, wow, surprise.
There'll be some teams, I think, late, though, that maybe play a little bit spoiler.
Oh, suck on that one, Danny.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. See, it doesn't have to just be us. Now we have the people, and the people understand.
Oh, the people are definitely not going to be on your side, Dan.
Yeah, I would say 90% of the people, even the ones that join us that aren't U.S., probably won't be on your side because they're going to be reasonable, logical people that aren't just, It's okay to fanboy. We know you hate fanboy of, Prem fanboys and all that, but, I mean, you can root for your country super hard and fanboy your country, but you're not better than us. You won one game against a bad regime.
I was going to say, I feel like Canada had a disappointing start as well to the U.S. I don't think either team was started off very well.
Yeah.
You did need a penalty against a Honduras team at home.
Yeah. Sullivan made it. What's up, brother? Thank you for joining us.
Sullivan, my man.
U.S. played 2 road games, came away 5 points. Not great, but not terrible. I know we said it in the beginning. It's kind of our that was our worst case. We didn't anything below that would have been a failure. So this was worst case scenario, and we got worst case scenario. Yeah,
we look at things like, are you glass half full guy or glass half empty guy?
I'd rather that and not be dead. I just there was that small part of me, and I know, and if you say you didn't have it last night, you're a freaking liar. That if they would have somehow squeaked that and not have come back in that game, that Berhalter was just going to get left in Honduras, and they would kind of forget to stamp his plane ticket home. Yeah,
you would have to live in Honduras. I don't even want him back in the U.S.
Yeah, here's $100 and a bushel of bananas.
Ha!
Good luck.
God, Greg.
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, it's
the players bailed his ass out. We got 5 points.
The talent definitely outshone what the coach is setting up.
Yeah, the end game, the goal for all of us, no matter what we think of the coach, the players, anything, is we all want to get to that same thing, which is qualify for the World Cup. So we're back on track to do so, regardless of the 5 points, I guess, is the best way to put that.
We need it. Damn it.
Yeah, man, we need it. And talk about our boy Jesse. Jesse's been trolling a little bit. So he came out again today, and Adam and I were talking before the show. Jesse Marsh, for all of you that don't know, he's one of our favorites if there was going to be a coaching change, who coaches Tyler Adams at Leipzig, and came out and said how it's such a dream to coach Tyler Adams, and why I found that to be a little bit more of a troll job again, because if you watched last night and you watched closely, there was a moment where Berhalter was speaking to Adams, and Adams kind of gave him one of those eye rolls like we've seen from other guys. And you can't be mad at Tyler Adams. The guy's a leader. The guy's a player. He goes out and fights. So maybe that should start telling you things too. Like, don't put that on the players. If you start seeing all these guys with that same reaction to him, and these guys are that good, and their club coaches that are world-class coaches have nothing but praise, Like, wake
Man.
up. Wake up.
That's two of your guys that are leaders on the field, and John Brooks and Tyler Adams doing the old eye roll to your head coach is not exactly a good telling sign of what they might think about. Maybe a great guy. Maybe he's a great guy, off the field. But tactics-wise, and that lineup he rolled out yesterday, whew,
I never questioned the man as a man. He's probably a phenomenal man. He's a nice family man. He's I'm not attacking Greg Berhalter, the man. I'm honestly not even attacking Greg Berhalter, the soccer guy. Again, I think he's done phenomenal things for U.S. men's soccer in the development and the youth program. Like if you said from now on Greg Berhalter is going to step down, we're going to bring in a really good tactical coach now that's going to go toe to toe with the big South American, Central American, and European countries so we can actually compete on a world stage. But Greg's going to stay in as like director of scouting and youth development. And he's going to be a part of it, and he's going to be around. And he's going to help recommend some good young guys and move them through the MLS systems and into Europe and all that. I'm all for it, man. Keep the guy around. Like, I'm not trying to crush the guy, but like, as far as just what needs to be done on the field, it's just clear he's not it, man. It's just not it.
Is he in over his head a little bit?
He is, and we've all been there. We've all been like, yeah, we could do this. And
well, he's like, yeah, Nations League. Yeah, Gold Cup. Hey, World Cup qualifying, baby. This is a different breed.
Yeah, man. It is. It really is. And when you're dealing with an abundance of players, like even being a head coach of like a Columbus team like he was, and had some success. Those players are your players. They're under contracts. They're things like that. When you're now into where you have a pool of players and a pool of talent to evaluate and pull from and try to make the best thing, and every time you seem to have failure in doing so, I mean, that starts like you got to start to see that trend, and sooner or later it's going to be time for a change. I
mean, Greg Berhalter got sacked from Hammarby, the club, because offensively they were terrible.
And look, I mean, again, offensively we're terrible until you get a bunch of guys that are just pissed off and they find a way to put four in the net late in a game because they knew their backs were against the wall. Those guys don't want to go on social media and see that shit, like if you look how that changes, because if you go on Dallas's social media, it says right now Dallas's Twitter name is Dallas FC, and then in parentheses it says Pepe scored. They've literally they're so embracing the Pepe thing, and they're gonna market the shit out of this now. I mean,
he's one of their own. He's like a FC Dallas homegrown kid. So.
Yeah, which is awesome. It's him and Miles, right? Miles is yeah. I don't care where they came from. I give praise on this show to a Union kid more than I give to any single player. So yeah, it's awesome. Let's just get this right, man. Let's just get this right.
We got this.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a good international break. I gotta say, minus
entertaining.
Yeah, never a dull moment. Besides the roller coaster ride this team has taken us on, I think we're all pretty happy, to be where we're at. So we'll see again when October rolls around how everything shakes out. But we do have some domestic leagues. We're back. We're starting up again Saturday. The Premier League full going on. I always miss it. I love international break.
We do.
But there's just something about, rooting for your team, sitting down, nice Saturday morning.
I guess.
Watching the I guess it depends on what club you root for.
I mean, honestly, right now, I just enjoy watching any two teams more than I watch my team. Yeah.
I mean, you have a serious talk about big games for
and you know what the best thing is?
Arsenal for Saturday against Norwich. Oh God.
my son's first game of his fall season is exactly at 10 a.m. on Saturday. So I will be properly distracted for 70 minutes probably of the 90. And then once his game's over, I'll be able to lift my phone and decide how Tuesday's going to go, because I mean, I don't even know anymore. If they can't get through this one at home against Norwich and get 3, you can't get 1. You got to get 3, and you got to pick up a couple goals and goal differential. Like, you have to. Or I think I'll just take it down. I'm not even going to leave it backwards. It's just going to come down. It's going to go in a closet, and I'm going to roll like neutral and just analyze the rest of the season.
I would say if a loss to Norwich would really make you reconsider some things.
Yeah. And just anybody who's just joining us too, little quick background. I told somebody on Twitter is Adam and I met each other a couple years ago, and like, this isn't for show. Adam is literally a Union, Dortmund, and Chelsea fan, and I am literally a Red Bull, Arsenal, and Bayern fan. So like, basically natural rivals of each other, all 3 teams. But yet we sit here week in and week out and give you guys a show, and we actually agree on a lot of things other than who to root for. So
it's true. There's a lot we do agree on, and then
there's definitely things we disagree on. So, but a lot. I don't think everybody always that recently joins us totally understands that dynamic. So,
oh yes,
Lord Walker's here. 3 cheers for Pepe. Yeah. Oh, 3. Yes, 3 cheers for Pepe, 2 cheers for Aronson, 1 cheers for Pep. Yes, sir.
He's really pushing that.
That's okay. I told you. If Jesse's not coming, I'll go pick up Pep at Newark Airport myself. Drive him to Red Bull Arena.
Oh God.
First training. Back to the Prem though. Are we going to see Ronaldo this week? I think he's cleared because he left Portugal early in qualifying.
I mean, when did he have his first training? Like yesterday or 2 days ago, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like. Is this the week, or is it going to take another week? I'm not really sure. I don't know if anybody's. That's a United fan has seen anything. I know they keep talking about all the pursuit of him and that stuff in general, but
I don't think he would start if he was available for selection, but I'm sure.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't.
The game being at home, I'm assuming it would be a good time for him to debut.
Oh yeah,
in front of the Old Trafford faithful.
Off the bench is so much better sometimes too.
Oh, boy, yeah, that cheer that's going to be a loud one.
Dude, they're going to have to stop the game.
Yeah.
They're like, if they don't, shame on United fans. Like, if that ovation is not so strong when he does finally step back on the pitch for them that they have to stop the game, then they've failed as a organization and a fan base.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, Lord Walker says he doesn't think he's playing. But it doesn't even have to be this week. I'm just saying when that moment does come, that needs to be one of those all-time moments.
Nice stop in the crowd. Just
yeah. He'll embrace it. Yeah. I was going to say he might not want that, but let's be serious.
Come on.
He'll want every outside.
He'll love that. All eyes on him.
Is Arse a good nickname for Arsenal right now? My fantasy team is up your arse, so that's.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I dropped to 6th in the table after last week with the week off. By the way, anybody that's a fan of the show that's in our fantasy league, get your waivers in because they didn't do them over the break, so they will go off tomorrow. I don't want to hear any crying if the bottom guys don't get Ronaldo. I know Sullivan's got a bid in and hoping that somebody doesn't. Julio doesn't, but I think Julio's going to take it.
I think so too. He's back. I think he's been checking more.
He did. He messaged me. He's been a little more active trying to be this year. He missed the draft because of school. And as
missing the draft.
But as he stated, and I don't blame him, if there was actually money on the line, he would have probably took the night off of school. But since it was it's a free league and we do it for fun, he set a few guys in queue and did the right thing and went to class. So.
Well, I appreciate his.
I probably would have did it on my phone in class, but that's just me.
Lord has a question for you. What's your target? Where the position for Arsenal? Where do you think realistically can they end up?
To where he doesn't get sacked? To the exact same scenario it's going to take for me to turn that jersey back around or not hang it up into my closet. And that was back into the top 10. I don't care if it's for an hour. If they break back into the top 10 at any point of the season where they win any type of hardware. I don't care if it's a freaking Carabao Cup. I don't care what it is. But if they win some type of hardware and they start to show some signs of life, then but if they can't find a way to just get this thing going and get points and get in, at some point he's going to have to go.
Right.
It's just like Berhalter. I can't, you can only defend these guys so long. It's the same thing. There's no offensive creativity. There's no spark. There's no heart from the players. There's just nothing.
Pretty stale. Pretty stale.
Yeah. Super, super stale. All my teams right now are super, super stale except Byron. Come on, Weston.
I don't think he'll ever be stale.
Weston, Byron.
He's not going to play there.
Weston, Byron.
You can't get little Leon Goretzka off the field. You see that man? He's like 6'2", like 215 now. All of a sudden,
they'll find a spot.
Jacked.
They'll find a spot for him.
Yeah, I don't know. But
I'm trying. He's got to get at it.
There are some good games though this week. The Leicester Man City game is pretty good. 10:00 Saturday. The Foxes looking to a little home game at the KP against a City squad. Again, it's like so early in this thing where I'm like, all right, where does it really matter? Unless you're sitting in the basement like some people. It doesn't matter.
I mean, you don't want to, you can't gloat because you're in the top 3 and you can't panic if you're in the top 8. If you're in one of those ranges, no, it doesn't matter because every week it's going to change just a little bit for a while as, ties and wins happen. That's how that table, but yeah, it matters. It matters to me. Like this week should matter way more to me than like you against Villa. Like if Chelsea just somehow comes out and laid an egg against Villa, like you wouldn't be panicking. To where if Arsenal doesn't come out and handle any type of business this week, I'm like, I don't even know.
Not good.
Yeah. Yeah, some teams it's definitely more dire right now for some teams than others to really get going and find a way to get some points. I mean, no points. Can't have no points. It's not okay to have no points.
The battle of the beatens.
Yeah, and what do you got? Sunday you got Leeds Liverpool. That could be a good game. Leeds at home.
Yeah, Leeds have had a tough schedule to start.
They sure have.
They're sitting down in the lower half, but
even them have shown a couple signs of life at least. I wouldn't be like overly scared if I was a Leeds fan.
Yeah, I mean they're also looking for their first win.
Yeah, Everton Burnley on Monday night. Little Monday night football, or 3 p.m. Eastern time for us. A little afternoon for Lord Walker.
I don't like the one game on Sunday only. I get it because the NFL's, we got the American football kicking off, but still.
Yeah. I say top 10 wow for if the rope does this guy get in the top 10 for Arsenal.
Patrick Vieira is not a good coach.
Oh, we're at the end of the show. We don't have time to start that whole thing up, but Patrick Vieira wasn't going to be the answer. Arteta may not be the answer. Probably is not the answer.
Clearly.
I mean, I don't know.
What is the problem? Because Unai Emery was apparently not the problem, and he went on to win a Europa League. So,
Edu, I don't know. I don't know because I
don't know.
Like even some of the players, like some of these guys I look at and I rate them pretty decently. It's just being able to, again, bring them all together and get the best out of each guy and put them in the right positions. I've seen too many guys out of the right positions, and apparently he's going to try something now new with Odegaard, and he's going to move him somewhere because you didn't really need Odegaard because you promoted Smith Rowe to your 10 and he was playing well and you had a guy in house. As much as I like Odegaard, it's like they have a position, and instead of adding a position in need, they add another guy in that position and they create a competition, and then some guy has to play out of position, and it's just it's a mess right now. It's just a mess.
I don't know. I mean,
Aubameyang,
he does this thing. Aubameyang, when he is, kind of sick of the club that he's at, I'm
kind of sick of him, man.
And he seems to be at that rope where he's just like.
I really thought they would have. Again, smart business people probably would have sold him this last window and found a way to just get some money back and
France somewhere.
Don't
say it to you.
I wish they would just roll with this young squad, and I would give his leash longer if he would just roll with these young guys. And I mean, there's so many issues, just so many issues. Xhaka's an issue. Xhaka looked like one of the best players in the world during Euros playing for Switzerland with the blonde hair. I swear it's a different guy. It has to be a freaking clone, because as soon as he puts the Arsenal kit back on and lets the blonde grow out, it's like he forgets how to play soccer.
It's funny how that happens.
He's like a Gareth Bale
too, where some guys just step up, for their club and just cannot find footing on the national team, and then vice versa, where there's guys that are insanely good for their national team, but their club they can't even break into their own starting 11. I don't see your Leeds love, Lord. I know we don't agree a lot, and that's one thing I just can't get behind.
He's just got to protect his take at this point, like we all do. It's okay. I understand. Yeah.
You threw it out a top 6 for Leeds. You gotta keep it rolling.
Emery had a better last 26 games than Arteta's first 26, but he's still there. The problem with Arteta is he won. Whether you value the 2 trophies or not, he won 2 trophies. So therefore, everybody was like, he's winning trophies. And we finally won a game at Anfield, and we finally won a game at Old Trafford for the first time in 15 years, and whatever. Those are all those little notches he has under the belt, which is great, and I'm all for that. But now you got to win. You got to win now. Can't be sitting last in the table with no points and
-9.
Huge, -9 goal differentials. It's just now you got to win. You got to win games. You got to win. You got to win this week. That's it. Done. I'm not talking about Arsenal anymore. Done.
I'm pretty excited though. Should be a good week. Spurs stay on top. They got to travel to Selhurst Park. A little battle with Palace. We could have a Spurs 12 4 from 4.
Yeah, wouldn't that be crazy? It already is crazy that they're in the top and we're in the bottom, but it is what it is. I'm just glad it's all back. Everything's back. MLS is still excited. Rolling.
Again,
Bundesliga is back.
And West Ham looks to be trying to continue their hot start. They are on the road at the St. Mary's at Southampton. My boy Ralphie's How long is this guy going to be there? What's his leash for Mr. Hasenhüttl?
Oh man, I don't know. They're another one. They need to figure it out, but it's going to be hard. They lost all the leaders for the most part.
Are they really trying to get him fired though? Because just let Danny Ings just leave, and now you're relying on Jay Adams and Stu Armstrong and Adam Armstrong.
The problem is with COVID too, and these clubs did this before. These small clubs, it's like the opportunities they have to put money back in their pockets, they're going to take it, and then now it's your job to figure out how to still win with what we're going to give you and allow you to buy. And if you don't, then we'll get rid of you and start over. And it's like, and hope that we don't go down and we don't lose our whole franchise. I mean, your P&E Shield is an exhibition trophy, and it's just. Listen, I don't disagree. I would love to watch Arsenal play in a Champions League game, but I mean,
that's not happening.
Yeah, I see. That's the difference. Like, I'm not. When my team is issue, I'm willing to admit my team has issues, and I won't sit here sometimes and be a little delusional. I don't want to. But like, it is what it is. I'm. What do you want out of this team? I don't know. Until I see somebody step up and they win a game, there's zero confidence. Stop talking about Arsenal. Stop. I'm done talking about Arsenal. Don't want to talk about Arsenal. I know. Worry about beating your Leeds team that you're so high on.
Yeah, Liverpool look good. Good start.
Yeah. Without your Brazilians, because Brazilians aren't allowed to play this for the next month.
That's issues.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say, I'm excited for hopefully maybe a Saul debut at the Bridge.
You may have a Saul debut at the Bridge. That would be.
I put in a claim for him, so no one pick him up.
I have a claim in for, I think, him.
No.
Danny James. Yeah. I'm actually valuing Danny James going to Leeds pretty high. I think he's going to get a lot of time there, so I like it. I might allow you to backdoor your boy and favor the lead the James claim over. So let's see. Just trying to read this here and catch up before we head out of here, because there was something that broke just before we went on air about MLS and Thanksgiving. Apparently, we're going to have MLS playoffs on Thanksgiving. So it says we'll begin as a single respective winners of the Eastern Western Conference. Damn, we're trying to get this. When would be the date? Will begin its playoff season on November 20th, featuring its first Thanksgiving Day broadcast and 7 teams per conference in 12 single elimination playoff matches played across 2 weeks. The postseason, we'll see. So it doesn't say which game or which seeds will get that game or anything yet, but there will be MLS playoff games on Thanksgiving. That would be exciting. That would be exciting if one of our teams was in it.
I don't even know. That's one of those, you talking about Arsenal, you don't even want to talk. I don't even want to talk the run of form that the Philadelphia Union are in, because it's not good.
Yeah. I mean, I give you guys a little bit of a.
With a Club America date on next Wednesday looming for a CONCACAF Champions League final position spot on the line. Not good.
You're still in 5th, though.
Yeah. Dude, it's not good enough.
We're in 12th. We're one spot over Cincinnati by 5 points.
The shoe fits.
Yeah, I know it does right now. It's hasn't been the same since Jesse left. It's amazing what a good coach does.
I feel like the whole organizational structure just has changed to let's
Yes.
just sell everybody off and try to build through our academy system.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
Whatever that tall guy that stinks up top, Tom
Just-
Barlow.
He's been long gone. He's barely playing. I don't know. I hardly ever watch him. Like, they're literally just a feeder club now. That's it. And kind of sucks, but it's all right. I'm gonna follow Caden Clark's career. That's all that's all I could do is hope that the couple guys that come through get thrown up into Europe, and now I can kind of watch them.
It's a beautiful
Rest
thing
there.
when that happens.
Yeah, especially if they're Americans.
True.
So.
Robbo. Naby Keita. Is it tough to win away? Asking for a friend.
I think it'll be a really hard game. 100%. It's a tough game to win away. Yeah, I thought you were like. I thought you were number one. I thought you were number one team in the world. One of the top 5 world powers. Shouldn't be worried about a Leeds team, even on the road.
Is it tough to win at home, up a man for 45 minutes?
Yeah. Oh, shots fired because we still never really got to fight about Prem. The way the breaks all came in and the way all this qualifying came in hot and heavy, like we lost some Prem talk and we lost a little bit of beef, but it's okay because early in the year,
It'll be back.
right? Like Adam said, it's so early in the table and so early in the year, like most of it doesn't matter. So it matters, but it doesn't matter. Like give us till later when that game has some significant meaning.
We're just getting started with the Prem. No worries.
Yeah. Yes. So, do you have anything else?
I think just red card, yellow card to finish up because I probably got to get out of here. But
Yeah.
I would say my combined, basically just a red card. These yo-yos that are trying to have the World Cup every 2 years. I think that's the dumbest thing ever. And whoever that is getting my straight red. And it's crazy. Just money and just, it's
just
I wouldn't even be
cheapens it.
surprised somehow if it got like moved to that because of just corruption in FIFA and the way that can happen. And I don't know, that just ruins it. And I don't think the players would be cool with that either. They're already running ragged. I mean, you figure that all these kids are playing full, especially if you're getting called up to your national team, the pandemic just made everything, the schedule just crazy with Euros this past summer. And then now you're rolling right into World Cup qualifying. It's a lot. It's a lot of games.
Yeah.
So to have it every 2 years, I thought the best in the pageantry was having it every 4. That makes it that much like tougher and making that award that much greater, that it's just every 4 years. So to do every 2 is just stupid. Red card.
I agree 100%. 100%. I mean, I don't have too much. I don't even want to go back to the U.S. team. We've put enough people on notice and talked about all that. Everybody should know where we stand there. My team is on notice. I mean, that's all I'll do. I'll do a single yellow this week. This is it, and Tuesday will determine whether they're still staying on that yellow, because they're not going to get off the yellow from one win at home against Norwich, but they will go right to a red with anything less but that win. Tie's not even acceptable this week. They got to get the win. So Arsenal, you are my yellow card. Please do something. Like I want to be like in the conversation. Like I can't even talk to these guys because they all have things that they can gloat over and talk about, and I'm sitting there in the corner like hoping no one spits on me. So please get
I
your
kind of
shit
hope they lose
together.
just for the show purpose.
I know.
Now you come in just absolutely fuming
Yeah.
just for content purposes, but
Yeah.
and just it's
just to
entertaining to every
to
other
rub it
team
in,
the
yes.
league.
Yeah, it is. I get it. I get it.
But yeah, great show again today. This U.S. men's national team talk. Again, we can talk about it forever. Again, we'll see this. We'll revisit what kind of roster they will bring back in the October window. We got Prem this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, back in full force. All the domestic leagues are returning. Looking forward to that. Again, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Lord, Dan, of course, you guys. We got Fly High 808. Thank you for tuning in. Sullivan, Andrew coming to our defense.
Yes.
We need the big bad Dan sometimes to get put in his place. Eric, Evan, of course, live from the shower. Chucks, Pete, we got Jakey, Tommy, Wills, Greggy, Daly, Rob. Thank you, all of you, for tuning in. We'll see you guys Tuesday, same time, 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock Eastern. And good luck to all your teams this weekend, and stay safe out there.
Yeah, you too, brother. I will talk to you soon, man.
Love you guys. We'll see you.
Love you guys.